Welcome to Middle East Minute by Al Monitor. From our studio in New York, I'm Adam Lucente. Here are the headlines we're looking at across the region. Today is Thursday, August 20th, 2026. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi dismissed U.S. President Donald Trump's threat of economic warfare on Thursday, writing in a post on X that the proclamation is a, quote, diversion from America's own crisis, in reference to rising prices and debt. Trump said on Truth Social Wednesday night that he would hit Iran with, quote, economic warfare and isolation on an unprecedented scale. Trump specifically pledged action against oil smuggling, cash transfers, ship registries, front companies, and related activities, threatening any country doing business with the Islamic Republic. Notably, Iran's central bank governor said on Wednesday that the country's oil exports have fallen to zero amid the war and sanctions. In May, Iran's oil exports hit a six-year low of 209,000 barrels per day, down from 1.34 million barrels per day in April, according to data from Vortexa. Saudi Arabia is pushing Iraq to take serious action against Iran-backed militias in the country, following attacks by armed groups against the kingdom, Al Monitor's Amber Zaman reported on Wednesday. At the same time, Saudi Arabia is pursuing back-channel talks with Iran aimed at de-escalation, she wrote. Iraqi Prime Minister Ali Azadi has set a September 30th deadline for the militias to disarm and fully integrate into the state security forces, though a number of Iran's top proxies have not agreed to do so. The local outlet Shafaq News reported on Wednesday that Iraq's powerful Shiite political alliance, the Coordination Framework, has begun talks with factions that have refused to hand over the weapons. Meanwhile, Iran's parliament speaker Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf visited Iraq on Wednesday, marking the second trip by a senior Iranian official to the country this month. The head of the IRGC Quds Force, Ismail Qani, warned Iraqi militias during his visit against further attacks on Saudi Arabia, Zaman reported. Syrian Foreign Minister Assad Ashebani met his Pakistani counterpart Ishaq Dar in Islamabad on Thursday, marking the first visit by a top Syrian diplomat to the South Asian country in 19 years. The two discussed bilateral relations and ways to strengthen cooperation, Syria's official Sana news outlet reported. Pakistan's ties to the region are growing on the back of its defense pact with Saudi Arabia and Turkey and admission into the Saudi-led Red Sea coalition. Tensions are ramping up further between Israel and Turkey over Tuesday's Israeli strike on a Syrian airbase that reportedly hosted Turkish soldiers. Israeli Defense Minister Israel Katz warned Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan against, quote, dragging Turkey into dangerous adventures in Syria, in a Thursday X post. Turkey's defense ministry said in a statement on Thursday that no Turkish military delegation was at the Abu Adoher base during or before the strike. Shebani told Axios on Wednesday that there are no plans to establish a Turkish base at the site, though he said Turkish military officers had visited recently as part of the training deal between the two countries. In other news, Qatari Foreign Minister and Prime Minister Mohammed Athani visited Saudi Arabia on Wednesday for talks with Saudi Foreign Minister Prince Faisal bin Farhan. And Lebanese President Joseph Aoun is in Italy and met Pope Leo at the Vatican on Thursday. The Israeli military clashed with settlers during an outpost evacuation in the West Bank on Thursday, as Israel seeks to clamp down on rising settler violence against Palestinians. And Iraqi Parliament Speaker Heibat el-Helbousi told Ghalibaf on Wednesday to give Iraq, quote, special consideration regarding the export of oil through the Strait of Hormuz, amid diminished Iraqi oil exports. Thanks for listening to Middle East Minute. For the links to these stories and to keep up with headlines from across the region, visit elmonitor.com and subscribe to Middle East Minute on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Until next time, I'm Adam Lucente.